So now that we have Rosebud here, we should be able to update things pretty easily by going back into Unity and selecting those parts of the environment, although it looks like it all came in as one big piece. So that is the problem. Well, with that then, I can delete this and go back to Blender, which I can get to by double-clicking on this. And come in here, and this time I can just pick, when I export, I can just pick for the object. Here it would say selection only, and then I say Rosebud plane, because it should have been just the plane, and export that. Then I can do the buildings, and actually each building should be separate, and then export that. But with the newer version, you don't have to go through this because you can do the whole thing. So I'm sort of disappointed in that. But this would be house.
No, they haven't been used.
They're
all covered with stuff growing on.
I'll be right with you. And then when you go into here, you can see house is there, as is the plane. And the plane can be brought in like this now. Much better. And then the house can come in and be dropped in. And where did the house go? There it is. But unfortunately, it doesn't come in with location information. So that means one would have to go to top view and find the house, and then drag that house over, and then place the house where it belongs, and then radically transform the z-axis, or the y-axis now, because these things are messed up with that down there, and then bring it up just a little bit until it starts to show up. And there it is. So you see the reveal. And then when we go to look at it like this, you can see there's the house. You hit the period, the F button to focus in on your thing. But you can see that the Rosebud house came in just fine then. And so you're really working back and forth between Blender and between between Unity. So when I now take the classroom and I export that as an object, and I'm exporting it selection only, and then I go classroom and then export the OBJ, and then when I open up Unity, it comes in as classroom. And then I can drop that in. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a way to get it to place properly, but apparently not. So you drop that in, and it comes in the wrong place. Bring it over, bring it over, bring it over, go to your top view, looking down, and make sure that it comes in the right place, like so. And then look at your side view and make sure you bring it down properly. And then go to your top view, and then you can sort of tilt around and see what that looks like. Now, with this, we could bring the biodigesters in, but we also have the biodigesters as a different file. If we upload this now, build and upload, I should have saved it. Then when we go into AltSpace and we update this, reset the world. You can, by the way, you can go into settings and you can re-enter the space, and then it'll reload. Although it looks like the houses fell radically. Oh, that's sort of strange. There's my feet. Look up. Yeah, I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe there's some kind of collision problem here, that this needed to be anchored somehow. And probably... Okay, so that got really, really weird. And I don't know if there's any way to improve upon it. It's like the stuff is floating in space, but in completely the wrong direction. So I'm not sure why that happened. If we were to take this part out, I guess if we remove these again and hit delete and hit delete, and then build an upload, then we can see if it's something to do with putting in those parts. And it says upload complete. So now if we go to AltVR, which is where now? There it is. And then we'd have to go back and reload it and re-enter the space. Well, the plane seems like it's flying way off into space. So there's the plane, and almost impossible to get to. So that is weird. Now, maybe that this plane here was not properly placed or properly anchored when we brought it in. And if we look at where it came in, the position, yeah, it's in weird spaces. So we got to move that Y to 0 and move the X position and the Z position. And now it should at least, maybe that's going to be a little better. Let's build an upload now. And then start AltVR. You're going to do a lot of testing like this. It's frustrating, but that's part of being a developer. Go to my worlds. And it's this one here. And it continues to fall, or I continue to fall. That's really bizarre. Looks like there is something up there. And to be able to fly around, you need to be able to go to settings and make sure for input that fly is on. And when you have that, then you should be able to get up above the world and see. Okay, so with the flying thing, we're not falling anymore, and that's not horrible. Let's point ourselves up and then look down. Alright, and then it looks like the cube is still there from when we had the cube. We never got rid of the cube. That means that when we go now back into Unity and we do decide to put the classroom down and drop it, where's the house there? Looks like the house, the classroom is here, and the house is here. And zoom in because they actually went in the wrong place, you've got to then go in the house and make the Z. The Y has got to always be down at 0. And this one here should also be at 0. And then when you zoom on in, then you're much better at getting that in. And so we can save, you can see how this house sort of fit on there. And the greenhouse, so we do want the greenhouse, don't we? So let's go back in here to Blender, and there's our greenhouse, and click on that, and then export that greenhouse as an object. Make sure that selection only, and then call that greenhouse, and then export it. Seems that it comes right in. Drag it down here where it belongs, and it's the right size, of course, and make the Y 0. And then move it up there. All right. So with this, save the scene, go and build and upload. And we begin to see a place for it. Upload complete. Now go back to AltSpaceVR, and we need to refresh this. And the easiest way to refresh it is to go to, not display, but re-enter. And lo and behold, there is the greenhouse, and there it is. It's on the landscape in the right location, and so are the houses. If I go way up here into the air and then look down, the greenhouse is in the right place, the house and the classroom are in the right place. We haven't put any collision yet. So this is how you're going to start to build assets and bring them in. That cube is annoying, for sure. And the cube doesn't really belong in there, so somewhere in here is the cube. Where's the cube? Environment, cube. The cube is there, and we don't want it, so just delete it. Goodbye, cube. Alright, we don't have a cube. So that is the beginning of our little world here. Thanks for watching.